Chosen one, I want you to notice something that only you and the universe know about. Last night, as you were staring at the ceiling in that heavy midnight silence, you did not just ask for a sign. You made a silent contract in your spirit. You said, if I am not forgotten, let me feel it. Right now, as these words reach you, I want you to simply observe the sudden shift in the air around you. Notice the pressure in your chest beginning to soften, or that quiet ringing in your ear that started just seconds ago. That is not a coincidence. That is the universe answering your contract. You were not brought to this video by an algorithm. You were led here by divine orchestration because the waiting room is closing. Before I reveal the exact sign that is already sitting on your doorstep, subscribe to align with thousands of awakened souls who are moving into their victory. Like this video if your spirit feels that strange spark right now, and comment 777 below to activate the frequency of this message. I need you to stay with me until the very end of this message. Do not click away, because by the end of this video, I am going to hand you the exact key to bypass the noise in your head. I will show you the exact protocol to shift your reality, and we will do a powerful mental activation that will seal your new season. If you leave early, you will only get the diagnosis, but you will miss the cure. I know what it looks like when everyone else has gone to sleep. You are lying there, scrolling through your phone in the dark, your thumb swiping up, looking at endless feeds of other people living the life you were promised. You check your messages, waiting for a breakthrough email, a text, a confirmation, but the screen is just glaring back at you, completely empty. And in the glow of that empty screen, a bitter question rises up in your throat. Why are people who compromise winning while I am losing? Why are people who take shortcuts, getting the house, the relationship, the money, while you are doing everything right and sitting in the dark with nothing? I will tell you why. Because your isolation is not a punishment. Your isolation is a spiritual quarantine. The universe had to hide you. It had to make you invisible to the systems of the world so that you could not be contaminated by their fragile success. Think about David in the ancient texts. He was anointed to be king, but where was he? Hiding in a damp, dark cave while Saul sat on a comfortable throne. Saul looked like he was winning, but Saul was a temporary king. David was building a dynasty. There is a magical pattern in the divine realm. Your wilderness time multiplied by your faithfulness equals your promotion level. The longer you are hidden, the higher the throne. You are not falling behind. You are being preserved, but the waiting hurts. I know the raw thoughts that haunt you when the house is quiet, the ugly thoughts you would never say out loud. You think, maybe I am just delusional. Maybe I made all of this up in my head to cope with my failures. Maybe God actually forgot my address. You feel this deep, heavy shame because you told people God was going to do something amazing in your life and now you look foolish. Listen to me very carefully, chosen one. Those thoughts are not yours. They are a symptom of a frequency mismatch. When you are stressed, anxious, and surviving, your brain operates in what science calls the beta state. It is a chaotic, noisy frequency, but the divine does not speak in beta. Look at the book of 1 Kings chapter 19. The prophet Elijah is looking for God. There is a massive wind that shatters rocks. There is a literal earthquake. There is a blazing fire, but God is not in the noise. Then comes a still small voice. In the original Hebrew, that phrase is kol demama daka. Demama means a whisper, a stillness, a crushing silence. You cannot hear the demama, the divine whisper, when your mind is screaming in the beta frequency. Your prayers feel blocked because you are dialing an FM radio station on an AM frequency. The universe is broadcasting your instructions, but your receiver is jammed by the frequency of survival. The enemy wants to keep you in that noisy frequency because he knows what happens when you finally tune in. He knows the mandate that is written over your life. The universe is not just going to fix your situation. The universe is going to overpay you. Let me show you something that most people misunderstand about restoration. In Joel chapter 2 verse 25, God says, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. In English, the word restore sounds like replacing what was lost. Like if you lost $5, you get $5 back. But the original Hebrew word used there is shalom. Shalom does not mean to simply replace. Shalom means to make whole, to complete, and to pay back with heavy interest. If the enemy stole 5 years of your peace, God is not giving you 5 years back. He is compressing 20 years of massive blessing, wealth, and spiritual authority into your next 12 months. That is shalom. That is the divine overpayment for your suffering. Look at the pattern throughout history. Joseph lost 13 years to betrayal and prison, but in one single day he was handed the entire economy of Egypt. Job lost everything, but he received a double portion of all he had before. Your suffering was not a waste, it was your down payment. And the God of Shalom is standing over your timeline right now saying, it is time to pay up. But here is where the frustration hits its peak. You hear this promise of Shalom. You know the demama, the whisper is waiting for you. So you try to access it, you try to focus, you try to pray or meditate, and immediately it feels like hitting a brick wall. There is a physical blockage in your mind. Your chest tightens. Your endless to-do list screams at you. The anxiety flares up all over again. You cannot force your brain out of the survival frequency just by wishing for it. Your mind has been wired by trauma, by stress, and by the constant attacks of the enemy to stay on high alert. The Apostle Paul wrote in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The Greek word for renewing is anakenosis. It does not mean just thinking happy thoughts. Anakenosis means a literal renovation, a complete rewiring of your neural pathways. You need a total renovation of your frequency. But how do you do that when you are already exhausted? How do you rewire your mind and drop into that deep divine theta frequency where miracles manifest without spending 15 years isolated in a monastery? How do you bypass the noise and instantly access the frequency of heaven when you are tired, burned out, and ready to quit? That is exactly what I am going to show you next. Chosen one. What I am about to show you will sound too simple to be true, but remember, the most powerful divine truths are always the simplest. You cannot fight a frequency war with sheer human willpower. You have been trying to tune into God using a broken antenna. But what if there is a key? A sacred technology that flips the switch for you. Science has finally caught up to what ancient mystics knew for thousands of years. NASA researchers discovered that 98% of children are born operating in a genius brainwave frequency. It is called the theta state. In theta, your intuition is flawless, your connection to the divine is wide open, miracles feel natural, but as you grew up, the trauma, the stress of modern life, the toxic environments, and the spiritual attacks literally suppressed that frequency. You were pushed into the survival mode of beta. Your divine birthright was hijacked. You did not lose your gifts, chosen one. They are just buried under the wrong frequency. But there is a bridge back. It is called the Genius Wave. It is a 7-minute audio track engineered using advanced brainwave entrainment. It does not require you to sit in a cave for 15 years or force your mind to be perfectly blank. You simply listen for 7 minutes a day. The sound frequencies act like a divine tuning fork, gently vibrating your brain back into its natural God-given theta state. It restores the neural pathways that the enemy tried to destroy. Think about the very beginning of creation in Genesis chapter 1. God did not just think the universe into existence, He spoke. The Hebrew word used for His voice is call, which literally translates to sound or frequency. The universe was framed by sound. Frequency is the language of creation. When you use the Genius Wave to realign your mind, you stop fighting the static. You stop begging for signs because your brain is finally tuned to the exact frequency where God is broadcasting. You become the sign. This is not a magic trick. It is a tool for your spiritual arsenal. It is the restoration of your original design. If your spirit is confirming this right now, if you feel that pull in your gut telling you this is the missing piece, I have put the information about this sacred technology in the pinned comment. Investigate it when this video is over. It is there for those who are ready to stop surviving and start receiving. But we need to perform a surgery right now, because even if your frequency shifts, there is a shadow hiding in the back of your mind. You say you want the breakthrough. You pray for the promotion. But when you close your eyes and imagine actually getting it, your stomach drops. A quiet, terrifying thought echoes in your mind. If I actually win, who will I have to leave behind? Will this success change me? Will I be completely alone at the top? You feel guilty for having these raw, ugly thoughts. You think it means you lack faith, but let me reframe this for you. That fear is not a lack of faith. It is proof of your profound wisdom. In Luke chapter 14, Jesus tells the crowds, whoever wants to build a tower must first sit down and count the cost. The Greek word for cost is dapen, which means the expense, the sacrifice, the toll it takes on your life. Most people want a tower, but they never calculate the dapan. You are terrified because your spirit is already calculating the cost of your crown. You know that blessing brings visibility. Visibility brings responsibility, and responsibility separates you from people who only loved you when you were broken. This is the real reason the universe isolated you. This is the secret of your quarantine. You thought you were being punished, but you were being prepped. If God had given you the blessing while you were still deeply connected to those toxic relationships, the guilt of leaving them would have crushed you. The universe had to make you lonely first, so that when the elevation comes, you will not feel guilty for leaving the wilderness. Your isolation was the exact medicine you needed to survive your promotion. Now that you understand the cost, you must understand the warfare. Because the moment you accept this crown, the enemy will try to steal it. In the next 40 days, you are going to face very specific confrontations. This is the enemy playbook. First, the financial temptation. You will be offered a shortcut, a deal, a job, or an opportunity that looks amazing, but requires you to compromise your peace or your morals. It is a trap to derail your massive harvest with a tiny appetizer. Second, the ghost from the past. Your phone will buzz late at night, and it will be a text from someone who drained your energy years ago, just checking in. The timing will feel uncanny. It is not destiny. It is a monitoring spirit trying to attach to your new frequency. Third, the midnight doubt. You will wake up at 2 a.m. and your mind will be flooded with anxiety, telling you that this is all a lie and you are going to fail. How do you defeat this? You apply the framework of strategic silence. In Matthew chapter 10, we are told to be as wise as serpents. The Greek word for wise is phronomoi. It does not mean book smart. Phronomoi means strategic, practical, calculating intelligence. You must apply the 3-circle rule. Circle 1 is only God. These are your raw dreams and divine downloads. You speak them to no one. Circle 2 is your inner circle. 1 or 2 people max, like a spouse or a true mentor, you share only for prayer coverage. Circle 3 is everyone else. You never share your process with Circle 3. You only share the results after the manifestation is complete. Let me tell you exactly what happens when you apply this. 9 months ago, a chosen one, just like you, received a massive vision for a business. The old version of them would have posted about it on social media instantly. Instead, they applied the 3-circle rule. They deleted their apps. They went completely dark. For 40 days, they built the foundation in total silence. Their friends thought they were depressed. People whispered that they had given up. But on day 38, they received an email from a massive company out of nowhere. It led to a 6-figure partnership. Because they protected their frequency, the universe brought the exact connection they needed. In Proverbs chapter 17, it says, even a fool is considered wise when he keeps silent. But the Hebrew word for silent is sharash, which literally means to engrave or to plow. When you stay silent, your silence is actively plowing the spiritual field for your harvest. This is the result of the silent contract you made with the universe last night. You asked for a sign, and the sign was not a shooting star. The sign was the radical shift in your understanding right now. The pressure in your chest is gone because the confusion is gone. Now, we are going to seal this. Do not move your body. Do not stand up. Just stay exactly where you are, whether you are driving, laying down, or sitting in the dark. But in your mind, I want you to step forward. Imagine yourself stepping across a heavy golden threshold. I want you to mentally place your hand over your heart. This is not a regular prayer. This is an activation, a commissioning. Father, we declare that this is the marked hour. I acknowledge the silent tears this chosen one cried when no one was watching. I acknowledge the betrayal they endured and the isolation they survived. Their faithfulness in the dark has fully qualified them for the light. By divine authority, I seal the protocol of silence into their spirit. I seal the frequency of theta, the frequency of miracles, over their mind. I bind every monitoring spirit, every ghost from the past, and every financial trap that has been dispatched against their next 40 days. You will not touch them. You will not delay them. In Revelation chapter 3, you said, I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. The Greek word is aneiogenon. It means a door that has been forced open and permanently locked in the open position. I declare that the aneiogenon door is clear throat in front of you right now. Within the next 40 days, the connections you need will effortlessly locate you. The people who mocked your isolation will watch your coronation. Chosen one, the universe is asking you right now, will you carry the weight of this glory? Will you step into the calling without looking back? In your mind, with the full force of your spirit, I want you to scream the word yes. Feel the vibration of that yes echoing in your chest. Heaven has recorded your answer. The angels are dispatched. Your waiting room is demolished. You are activated. You are sent. Do not say amen yet. Sit in this absolute towering peace for 60 seconds. Feel the frequency of your new reality.